Hello kids, welcome to Jiku Stories. Today we are going to read the story Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So, this is part 2 of this story. Let's start reading. Charlie felt it worst of all, and although his father and mother often went without their own share of lunch or supper so that they could give it to him, it still wasn't nearly enough for a growing boy. He desperately wanted something more filling and satisfying than cabbage and cabbage soup. The one thing he longed for more than anything else was chocolate. Yes, he likes chocolates like all kids do. Walking to school in the mornings, Charlie could see great slabs of chocolate piled up high in the shop windows. And he would stop and stare and press his nose against the glass, his mouth watering like mad. Many times a day, he would see other children taking creamy candy bars out of their pockets and munching them greedily. And that, of course, was pure torture. Only once a year, on his birthday, did Charlie Bucket ever get to taste a bit of chocolate. The whole family saved up their money for the special occasion, and when the great day arrived, Charlie was always presented with a small chocolate bar to eat all by himself. And each time he received it, on those marvelous birthday mornings, he would place it carefully in a small wooden box that he owned, and treasure it as though it were a bar of solid gold. And for the next few days he allowed himself only to look at it, but never to touch it. Then at last, when he could stand it no longer, he would peel back a tiny bit of paper wrapping at one corner to expose a tiny bit of chocolate. And then he would take a tiny nibble, just enough to allow the lovely sweet taste to spread out slowly over his tongue. The next day, he would take another tiny nibble, and so on and so on. And in this way, Charlie would make this 10-cent bar of birthday chocolate last him for more than a month. But I haven't yet told you about one awful thing that tortured little Charlie, the lover of chocolate, more than anything else. This thing for him was far, far worse than seeing the slabs of chocolate in the shop windows or watching other children munching creamy candy bars right in front of him. How could I tell you this? It was the most terrible, torturing thing you could imagine. Can you imagine it? And it was this. I'm going to tell you this, okay? In the town itself, actually within sight of the house in which Charlie lived, there was an enormous chocolate factory. Just imagine that. Are you imagining? I just can't imagine. And it wasn't simply an ordinary enormous chocolate factory either. Oh my God. It was actually the largest and the most famous in the whole world. It was Wonka's factory, owned by a man called Mr. Willy Wonka, the greatest inventor and maker of chocolates that there has ever been. And what a tremendous, marvelous place it was. It had huge iron gates leading into it, and a high wall surrounding it, and a smoke belching from its chimneys, and a strange whizzing sounds coming from deep inside. And outside the walls, for half a mile around in every direction, the air was scented with a heavy, rich smell of melting chocolate. Twice a day on his way to and from school, little Charlie Bucket had to walk right past the gates of the factory. And every time he went by, he would begin to walk very, very slowly, and he would hold his nose high in the air and take long, deep sniffs of the gorgeous chocolatey smell all around him. Oh, how he loved that smell! Can you imagine? And oh, how he wished he could go inside the factory and see what it was like. So this is, the end of the part 2. So we will read the next part in the next video. Do you like this story, kids? I'm really enjoying this story and reading this story. It is so much fun. Okay, take care, kids. Bye.